On the remote volcanic shores of the Galapagos Islands, where black lava meets the restless Pacific Ocean, a reptile waits at the water's edge. Waves crash against jagged rock, the tide rises, and without warning it dives. This is the marine iguana, the only sea-going lizard on Earth. Millions of years ago, its ancestors likely drifted here from South America on rafts of vegetation. Isolated on young volcanic islands with little plant life, they faced a stark choice: adapt or perish. The ocean offered opportunity. Beneath the surface, algae flourished. Over generations, natural selection reshaped a land reptile into a marine specialist. The marine iguana's body is built for this demanding life. Its tail is flattened sideways, acting as a powerful rudder that propels it through surf. Long, curved claws anchor it to slippery rocks as waves attempt to tear it away. Its blunt snout and sharp teeth are designed for scraping algae from stone. Even its dark charcoal skin serves a purpose. After feeding in cold water, the iguana must haul itself onto sun-baked lava to absorb heat. As a reptile, it relies entirely on the sun to raise its body temperature and restore energy. Dives are efficient and deliberate. Smaller iguanas feed in shallow tidal pools, while larger males descend more than 30 feet below the surface. Some can remain underwater for up to an hour. As they dive, their heart rate slows, conserving precious oxygen. In these chilly currents, they graze steadily, cropping red and green algae that no other lizard can access. But feeding at sea comes with a cost: salt. Marine iguanas consume seawater with every bite. Specialized nasal glands filter excess salt from their blood. Periodically, they expel it in forceful snorts, sending fine sprays of brine into the air. What appears dramatic is simply a necessary release. Life on these islands is governed by climate. During El Niño events, warming seas reduce algae growth, and food becomes scarce. In response, marine iguanas perform one of the most remarkable feats in reptilian biology: they shrink. By reabsorbing bone material and reducing body size, they lower their energy demands. When conditions improve, they grow again. Few vertebrates possess such a reversible survival strategy. On land, threats persist. Galapagos hawks patrol from above. Herons stalk the shoreline. Introduced predators add new dangers for hatchlings. Yet the marine iguana remains resilient. During breeding season, males transform. Their normally dark bodies flush with vivid reds, greens, or turquoise, depending on the island. They claim sunlit patches of rock and bob their heads in ritual displays. Females bury eggs in warm sand inland, leaving them to incubate beneath the equatorial sun. When hatchlings emerge, they must move quickly, instinct guiding them toward rocky shelter. As dusk settles over the Pacific, marine iguanas gather in clusters on still warm lava, conserving heat as night approaches. The ocean continues its relentless rhythm beside them. In this meeting place of fire and sea, the marine iguana stands as a testament to evolution's creativity. From a drifting ancestor to a master of tides, it has crossed a boundary no other lizard has crossed. Here, on islands born of volcanoes and shaped by waves, survival demanded innovation. And the marine iguana answered. Beneath the shimmering surface of the Indo-Pacific reefs, a vibrant community thrives in a delicate balance of color, motion, and hidden complexity. Among the waving tentacles of sea anemones lives one of the ocean's most iconic residents, the clownfish. These small, brilliantly orange and white striped fish are more than a spectacle of color. They are masters of survival, social complexity, and mutual dependence. The clownfish's world is defined by its intimate relationship with the sea anemone, a partnership forged over millennia. The anemone's stinging tentacles, deadly to most predators, provide a safe haven for the clownfish, while the clownfish defends its host vigorously, chasing away intruders and even feeding the anemone by luring prey or providing nutrients through its waste. This symbiosis is a dance of trust and adaptation. The clownfish's mucus coating protects it from the anemone's sting, allowing it to slip unharmed through the venomous embrace. And over time, both species shape each other's behavior, a living example of coevolution. Within this safe haven, a strict social hierarchy emerges. At the top reigns the dominant female, the largest and most assertive, followed by a single breeding male who maintains order, while smaller non-breeding males fill subordinate roles. Remarkably, clownfish are protandrous hermaphrodites. Should the female disappear, the breeding male transforms into a female, while the next in line matures to assume the male role. This fluidity ensures the continuity of the group and the survival of their lineage, and it allows the population to adapt rapidly to sudden changes in their environment. The reproductive cycle is a display of devotion and precision. The female lays hundreds of adhesive eggs on a flat surface near the anemone, often on the base of the reef or anemone stalk, and the male assumes sole responsibility for their care, meticulously guarding the clutch, fanning oxygen-rich currents over the eggs, and removing debris or unfertilized embryos. Over the course of a week, these tiny eggs transform into larvae, ready to venture into the vast open ocean, where their journey to the reef will be fraught with predators, strong currents, and the constant struggle for survival. Once the larvae reach a suitable reef, they face the challenge of finding an appropriate host anemone. Selection is deliberate. Only those demonstrating precise swimming skills, resilience, and an understanding of the anemone's defenses will be accepted. Those that fail often become prey or are forced to wander in search of new territory, highlighting the precariousness of life in the coral reef ecosystem. Clownfish communicate with subtle sophistication, producing high-pitched pops, clicks, and distinctive body gestures that convey dominance, submission, aggression, or mating intentions. Even within the limited confines of a single anemone, interactions are nuanced and vital for maintaining social order, and researchers have observed them engaging in what appears to be playful sparring, testing boundaries and reinforcing hierarchy. Clownfish are also remarkable for their adaptability and learning. They recognize individual neighbors, remember previous conflicts, and even adjust their behavior depending on the level of threat. Some species will leave the safety of their anemone to forage on algae, plankton, or small crustaceans, demonstrating a balance of caution and curiosity that defines reef life. Yet, the ocean is changing. Rising temperatures and coral bleaching threaten the very foundation of their habitat, while overcollection for the aquarium trade, pollution, and invasive species further exacerbate the risks. Conservationists are racing to protect these fragile ecosystems, implementing captive breeding programs, restoring degraded reefs, and monitoring wild populations to ensure that the delicate interplay between clownfish and their host anemones journeys continues for generations to come. In the kaleidoscope of the reef, the clownfish is both guardian and survivor, a living testament to the ingenuity, resilience, and complexity of life beneath the waves. In this miniature universe of color, sound, and motion, every flick of a fin and every whispered pop tells a story of adaptation, cooperation, and the intricate bonds that sustain life in the ocean's most extraordinary communities. Even in the smallest reef crevice, the drama of survival unfolds, revealing a world as intricate and captivating as any on land, where the lives of clownfish continue to inspire wonder and scientific curiosity alike. Across the vast grasslands of Serengeti and the sweeping savannas of Masai Mara, where golden horizons ripple beneath the heat of the sun, one of the most visually striking mammals on Earth moves in rhythmic procession, the zebra. Against a backdrop of wind-bent grasses and distant thunderclouds, their black and white stripes shimmer like living illusions, each animal carrying a pattern as unique as a fingerprint. These markings are not merely ornamental. They are evolutionary masterpieces, confusing predators, deterring biting insects, and even helping regulate body temperature by creating subtle air currents across the skin. Zebras are deeply social animals, living in tightly bonded family groups known as harems, typically led by a dominant stallion, several mares, and their offspring. Within these groups, relationships are reinforced through grooming rituals, gentle nuzzling, and constant vocal communication. Their language is rich and expressive, composed of barks, snorts, whinnies, and subtle ear and tail movements that signal mood, warning, or reassurance. A flick of an ear can signal irritation, while a soft whinny can summon a wandering foal back to safety. Beyond the family unit, multiple harems often merge into larger herds, forming moving societies that can number in the hundreds, an ever-shifting mosaic of stripes flowing across the plains. Life on the African savanna demands vigilance. Lions, hyenas, and wild dogs patrol these grasslands, and for zebras, survival depends on coordination and awareness. When danger approaches, the herd does not scatter blindly. Instead, they form protective formations, placing foals at the center while adults face outward. If escape becomes necessary, they burst into motion with explosive speed, their hooves drumming the earth in thunderous unison. During such chases, their stripes create a dazzling visual effect that can disorient predators, making it difficult to single out one target from the rushing mass. Even when cornered, a zebra is far from defenseless. A well-placed kick from its powerful hind legs can shatter bone and deter even the most determined attacker. Reproduction and early life unfold with remarkable tenderness amid this harsh landscape. After a year-long gestation, a mare gives birth to a single foal, which stands within minutes and begins memorizing its mother's stripe pattern almost immediately. This rapid imprinting is critical in a herd where every adult appears similar at a glance. Recognizing the correct parent can mean the difference between nourishment and starvation. Mothers are fiercely protective, positioning themselves between their young and any perceived threat, while stallions patrol the perimeter, ready to defend the group from rivals or predators. Migration is one of the zebra's most awe-inspiring behaviors. In regions of Africa where seasons dictate survival, vast herds travel hundreds of miles in search of fresh grazing and water. These journeys are not random wanderings, but ancient routes encoded in instinct, followed for generations. Along the way, zebras play a vital ecological role, As grazers, they trim tough grasses that many other herbivores cannot digest, effectively preparing the landscape for species such as wildebeest and antelope, shaping the ecosystem through their feeding patterns. Yet even these resilient travelers face mounting challenges. Expanding human settlements, fencing, habitat fragmentation, and climate change threaten traditional migration corridors, while competition for water grows more intense each year. Conservationists are working tirelessly to preserve open rangelands, establish wildlife corridors, and monitor populations using satellite tracking and genetic studies. These efforts aim to ensure that zebras continue to roam the plains as they have for millennia, their striped forms weaving through the grasses like living brushstrokes on nature's canvas. In the grand theater of the savannah, the zebra stands as both symbol and survivor, a creature shaped by predators, climate, and community. Every ripple of muscle beneath its striped coat tells a story of endurance, cooperation, and adaptation, reminding us that even in the harshest environments, beauty and resilience can run side by side across the wild horizon. Quiet corners of the world, hidden among leaves, bark, and stone, a tiny predator waits with extraordinary patience. Often overlooked because of its size, the jumping spider is one of nature's most remarkable hunters. Found on every continent except Antarctica, these spiders thrive in environments ranging from dense rainforests to dry deserts and even urban gardens. Though they measure only a few millimeters in length, jumping spiders possess abilities that rival some of the most advanced predators on the planet. What sets the jumping spider apart begins with its vision. Unlike most spiders, which rely heavily on vibrations and touch, jumping spiders depend on sight. They have 8 eyes arranged in a unique pattern, giving them nearly panoramic vision. 2 large forward-facing eyes provide sharp, detailed focus, allowing them to judge distance, track movement, and recognize shapes with surprising accuracy. This exceptional eyesight makes them one of the most visually advanced invertebrates known to science. Jumping spiders do not build webs to trap their prey. Instead, they are active hunters that stalk with precision and intent. Slowly and deliberately, they creep closer to their target, carefully calculating distance and angle. When the moment is right, the spider launches itself through the air in a powerful leap. Using a hydraulic system that forces fluid into its legs, the spider can jump up to 50 times its own body length. The attack is fast, accurate, and rarely unsuccessful. Despite their confidence in the jump, jumping spiders always prepare for failure. Before leaping, they attach a thin strand of silk to the surface behind them. This safety line acts as a lifeline, allowing the spider to climb back up if it misses or if danger suddenly appears. Silk, while not used for prey capture, remains an essential tool for survival, providing security and stability in a risky world. Beyond their athletic abilities, jumping spiders demonstrate an impressive level of intelligence. Studies have shown that they can plan routes, remember successful paths, and solve problems that require trial and error. Some species are even capable of choosing longer, more complex routes to reach prey if it means a higher chance of success. This level of decision-making is rare among animals of their size and reveals just how advanced these tiny hunters truly are. When it comes time to reproduce, jumping spiders reveal yet another extraordinary trait. Males perform elaborate courtship displays, waving their legs, vibrating their bodies, and showcasing vivid colors and patterns. These dances are carefully choreographed signals meant to communicate strength and species identity, while also avoiding being mistaken for prey. The female watches closely, and only the most convincing performances are accepted. In the wild, precision and communication can mean the difference between success and failure. Though their lives are short, jumping spiders play an important role in controlling insect populations and maintaining balance in their ecosystems. They are alert, adaptable, and endlessly resourceful, thriving without webs, venomous traps, or brute strength. Instead, they rely on intelligence, vision, and perfectly timed movement. In a world filled with giants, the jumping spider proves that size is not what defines a predator. With unmatched vision, incredible agility, and a mind built for strategy, this tiny hunter stands as one of nature's most impressive achievements. The jumping spider is small, fearless, and perfectly designed for survival. A powerful reminder that even the smallest creatures can be truly extraordinary. In the wide, sunlit grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, where the horizon seems endless and danger hides in the tall grass, there walks a hunter unlike any other. Tall, deliberate, and unmistakable in silhouette. This is the secretary bird. Neither eagle nor crane. The secretary bird stands as one of Africa's most extraordinary predators. Rising more than 4 feet tall, with long, stilt-like legs and an eagle's piercing gaze, it is a bird built not for soaring alone, but for walking patiently, relentlessly across the savanna. Its lineage is ancient. Fossil evidence suggests the ancestors of the secretary bird hunted these grasslands millions of years ago, evolving alongside Africa's earliest mammals. Over time, it developed a body unlike any other raptor, powerful legs designed not for grasping, but for striking. The secretary bird's hunting method is legendary. It stalks prey on foot, moving with calm precision, scanning the grass for movement. When danger reveals itself, snakes, rodents, lizards, or insects, the bird attacks with explosive speed, delivering crushing downward kicks. Each strike is strong enough to kill venomous snakes, including cobras and adders, in seconds. Its legs are protected by thick scales, acting as natural armor against bites. Its wings, though large and capable of flight, are often held out for balance and intimidation during combat. This combination of strength, speed, and strategy makes the secretary bird one of the most effective ground predators in the bird world. Despite its fearsome skill, the secretary bird plays a vital role in its ecosystem. By controlling populations of snakes and small animals, it helps maintain balance across the grasslands. Farmers have long respected the bird, knowing its presence reduces dangerous pests and protects livestock indirectly. When it comes time to reproduce, the secretary bird reveals another side of its nature. Monogamous pairs form strong bonds, often lasting for years. Together, they build enormous nests, high in acacia trees, made from sticks and lined with grass and animal hair. These nests can be reused and expanded year after year, becoming massive platforms visible from far away. The female lays 1 to 3 eggs, and both parents share incubation duties. When the chicks hatch, they are helpless and dependent, remaining in the nest for months. Even after learning to fly, young secretary birds stay with their parents, mastering the skills of hunting on foot before facing the savanna alone. Yet this remarkable bird is under threat. Expanding agriculture, habitat destruction, wildfires, and human disturbance have caused secretary bird populations to decline across much of their range. Once common, they are now classified as vulnerable, their future tied closely to the preservation of open grasslands. Still, the secretary bird endures. striding through the savanna with crown feathers flowing behind its head like quill pens. It remains a symbol of vigilance, strength, and ancient balance. A bird that does not flee from danger, but walks directly toward it, keeping watch over the land it has ruled for millions of years. In the emerald cathedrals of South America's rainforests, where light filters down in fractured beams and the air hums with life, a flash of impossible color slips between the trees. A sapphire crown, a body washed in living green, a voice that pierces the canopy. This is the blue-headed parrot. Blue-headed parrot, one of the neotropics' most captivating and underestimated avian minds. From the lowland forests of Costa Rica to the vast Amazon basin of Brazil, and stretching into Bolivia and Venezuela, this parrot thrives in a world of abundance and danger. It inhabits humid rainforest, forest edges, savannas, and even semi-open woodlands. A master of adaptation in landscapes constantly reshaped by climate and humanity. At first glance, its beauty is undeniable. A deep cobalt blue head contrasts with a bright emerald body. Subtle bronze and purple hues shimmer across its upper breast. But hidden beneath those feathers lies one of evolution's most refined tools, a beak capable of exerting tremendous pressure, designed to crack open some of the rainforest's toughest seeds and fruits. And it must, because survival here demands versatility. Blue-headed parrots are dietary opportunists. They feed on fruits, berries, blossoms, nectar, seeds, and occasionally crops. In doing so, they become architects of the forest itself. Seeds swallowed whole may travel miles before being dispersed, giving rise to the next generation of canopy giants. Each meal is an act of regeneration, but feeding is rarely a solitary affair. At dawn, their calls echo across the treetops, sharp, ringing whistles that maintain contact between mates and flock members. Though often seen in small groups, they may gather in larger flocks where food is plentiful. Social bonds are strong. Mated pairs often remain together for years, reinforcing their partnership through synchronized movements and mutual preening. This intelligence runs deep. Like many parrots, the blue-headed parrot possesses advanced cognitive abilities. Problem-solving, memory, social learning, all part of a brain built for complexity. Studies of related Pioneus species reveal strong spatial memory, allowing individuals to recall fruiting trees across vast territories. In a forest where resources change with the seasons, memory is survival. When breeding season arrives, typically timed with peak food availability, pairs seek out tree cavities, often abandoned woodpecker holes or natural hollows high above the forest floor. There, the female lays 2 to 4 eggs. She incubates them for nearly 4 weeks while the male stands guard and delivers food. For the chicks, life begins in darkness. Blind and featherless, they depend entirely on their parents. But within weeks, pin feathers erupt, eyes open, and the cavity fills with soft, insistent calls. After roughly 8 weeks, they fledge, launching into a world of aerial acrobatics and constant learning. Flight is both freedom and defense. In the wild, blue-headed parrots may live over 25 years. Their longevity demands caution. Raptors patrol the skies. Arboreal predators stalk the branches. Vigilance is constant. Their cryptic green plumage blends seamlessly with leaves, while their swift, direct flight carries them across clearings in seconds. Yet perhaps their greatest defense is awareness. They are sentinels of the canopy, often among the first to raise alarm at disturbance. Their sharp calls ripple through the forest like an early warning system, alerting countless other species. Despite their adaptability, they are not invincible. Habitat loss across the Amazon and Central America continues to reshape reshape their world. Deforestation fragments the ancient corridors they rely on for seasonal movement. The pet trade has also placed pressure on some populations, drawn by their intelligence and striking beauty. Yet for now, the blue-headed parrot remains widespread, a resilient symbol of the rainforest's vitality. Watch closely, and you'll see more than a colorful bird. You'll see a seed disperser shaping entire ecosystems, a lifelong partner reinforcing complex social bonds, a strategist navigating a three-dimensional world, a survivor in one of the most competitive habitats on Earth. As twilight settles and the forest exhales into evening, flocks gather at communal roosts. One by one, blue crowns vanish into the canopy shadows. The calls soften. The rainforest dims. But at first light, when mist clings to the treetops and the sun ignites the green world once more, a flash of sapphire will streak across the sky, a reminder that intelligence, beauty, and resilience are not human traits alone. They are written in feathers, and in the endless breathing heart of the rainforest, the blue-headed parrot endures. In the quiet hush of a sun-drenched meadow, life awakens in a delicate dance of color and light. From the tiniest bud, a caterpillar begins its journey, inching forward with purpose, devouring leaves with an insatiable appetite. Each day, it grows, its body stretching and curling in rhythm with the rhythms of the earth. Beneath the sky's vast expanse, predators lurk. Yet this small creature moves with a persistence that defies its size. As it reaches the end of its larval stage, a profound transformation begins, hidden beneath a silken chrysalis. Inside, the caterpillar's world dissolves, and a new form takes shape in secret, a miracle of evolution unfolding without a sound. Weeks pass, and the world outside continues unaware of the marvel concealed within fragile walls. Then, one morning, the chrysalis trembles, a silent signal of life ready to emerge. A fragile wing pushes through the hardened shell, glistening with the dew of dawn. The butterfly unfurls slowly, revealing colors more vivid than the most brilliant flowers around it. Its wings are a mosaic of pigments and patterns, each scale reflecting the light like a jewel in motion. With the first tentative flap, it rises, leaving behind the remnants of its past life. Air flows over delicate wings, teaching balance and grace in every movement. The butterfly's world is vast, yet it travels with a purpose, guided by instinct and the unseen forces of nature. It lands upon a flower, its feet barely touching the petals as it sips the nectar that fuels its fragile body. The scent of blossoms and the hum of pollinators fill the meadow, each organism playing its part in a complex web of life. Every wingbeat stirs the air, creating ripples that connect predator and prey, flower and pollinator, life and survival. Across forests and fields, the butterfly's journey is both ordinary and extraordinary, a fleeting testament to resilience. Some species migrate thousands of miles, tracing invisible pathways beneath the sun and stars, navigating with precision no human compass could replicate. Along riverbanks, through open plains, and over mountain ridges, these travelers persist, their wings beating in synchrony with the rhythm of the earth. Predators watch from shadows, yet the butterfly's brilliance often confuses, distracts, and sometimes survives against impossible odds. In tropical rainforests, colors explode in every direction, and here, butterflies display the full spectrum of evolution's palette. Blue morphos shimmer like liquid sapphire, while monarchs trace familiar migratory routes passed down through countless generations. Each species carries a story written in scales, in flight, in the delicate structures that allow air and sunlight to shape movement. The life of a butterfly is ephemeral, yet within its brief span, it accomplishes feats that inspire wonder and admiration. Courtship begins with the flutter of wings, a ritual as old as time, where colors, patterns, and motion communicate intentions beyond words. Mating pairs engage in aerial dances, weaving between flowers and sunlight in a choreography perfected over eons. Eggs are laid with precision upon carefully chosen leaves, each one a potential future, a continuation of an ancient cycle. Predators, parasites, and the environment shape survival, yet nature persists, and life finds a way to endure. In gardens, meadows, and wild spaces, butterflies remind us that beauty and fragility often coexist with strength and resilience. Through rain and wind, through heat and frost, these creatures endure, a testament to evolution's ingenuity. Every flutter tells a story of transformation, of vulnerability turned into grace, of life celebrated in motion. Scientists study their behaviors, uncovering secrets of navigation, adaptation, and survival, revealing that even the smallest wings can carry profound lessons. Children gaze in wonder, adults pause in reflection, and all who witness their flight are reminded of the intricate poetry of nature. In the silence between moments, the butterfly's journey continues, a fleeting presence that leaves an indelible mark on the soul. As sunlight fades into evening, colors deepen, and wings rest upon petals and leaves, gathering strength for the next day. Night brings quiet, yet the meadow remains alive with the whispers of the natural world, a symphony of creatures, insects, and the wind through grass. The butterfly sleeps lightly, sheltered yet alert, its body tuned to the rhythms of life and survival. With dawn comes awakening, the cycle beginning anew, wings stretching toward the sky, ready for another day of exploration. Each flight, each sip of nectar, each moment in the sun is a celebration of existence itself. Through forests, fields, mountains, and rivers, the butterfly's journey continues, an eternal testament to transformation, resilience, and beauty. In the end, it is not just a creature, but a living symbol, a reminder that even the smallest and most fragile beings leave a profound impact on the world around them. And as we watch, captivated by its grace, we are drawn into the larger story of life, a story as ancient as the earth, yet unfolding anew with every delicate wing beat. In the quiet hush of a sun-drenched meadow, the butterfly rises once more, a fleeting miracle that reminds us of the wonder in every living thing. Before there were forests, before dinosaurs walked the land, before humanity ever dreamed of stars, there was this, an invisible universe, a drifting empire, a living tide so vast, so powerful, that without it, Earth would collapse. What you're seeing right now may look small, fragile, almost insignificant, but these creatures, zooplankton, are the foundation of life on this planet. They are not background noise. They are not filler in the ocean. They are the ocean's heartbeat. Zooplankton are animals that drift, not because they are weak, but because the ocean itself is their highway. Some are born microscopic and die microscopic. Others begin life smaller than a grain of sand and grow into the largest animals to ever exist. Every whale, every coral reef, every fish you've ever admired, all of them begin here. Zooplankton are larvae, hunters, grazers, parasites, warriors, and ghosts. And together, they form the largest migration on Earth. Every single night, as the sun disappears, trillions upon trillions of zooplankton rise from the depths. Not meters, not tens of meters, hundreds, sometimes thousands. They ascend like a living storm, feeding near the surface under cover of darkness. Then, before dawn, they vanish again into the black. This daily vertical migration outweighs all land migrations combined. Wildebeest, caribou, birds, not even close. This movement reshapes ocean chemistry, redistributes carbon, and helps regulate Earth's climate. Without it, the atmosphere itself would be different. Look closely. Some zooplankton are armored in spikes and blades. Others are transparent, so clear they nearly vanish. This isn't beauty, it's survival. Spines make them harder to swallow. Glass-like bodies make them almost invisible. Some species can sense pressure changes, feeling predators before they arrive. Others glow. Bioluminescence isn't decoration, it's a language of survival. Zooplankton flash to confuse attackers, signal distress, or erase their silhouette by matching moonlight from above. Entire stretches of ocean ignite blue when disturbed, not because of magic, but because life is screaming in light. In a single liter of seawater, there can be thousands of living animals, each glowing, feeding, reacting. The sea is never empty. It is crowded beyond comprehension. Blue whales, the largest animals to ever live, survive almost entirely on zooplankton. A single whale can consume over 4 tons a day. That means these drifting animals fuel hearts the size of cars, tongues that weigh as much as elephants, and migrations across entire oceans. No zooplankton, no whales, no whales, a broken ocean. Zooplankton are not one thing, they are thousands. Some are crustaceans, some are jelly-like predators, some are larvae of animals you'd never associate with plankton at all. Starfish, crabs, lobsters, fish, even creatures that dominate reefs and coastliness spend their earliest days drifting, defenseless, vulnerable, anonymous. Most don't survive, and that's the point. Zooplankton don't rely on strength. They rely on overwhelming probability. Millions are born so that a handful may live. This fuels the entire marine food web, from filter feeders to apex predators. It is brutal. It is efficient. It is perfect. Here's something few people realize. Zooplankton help regulate Earth's oxygen and carbon cycles. They eat phytoplankton, microscopic plants that produce over half the oxygen you breathe. When zooplankton feed and then sink or are eaten, carbon is dragged into the deep ocean, locked away for centuries. This is called the biological pump, and without it, global temperatures would skyrocket. Zooplankton don't just live in the ocean, they engineer the planet. Some zooplankton are predators, armed with harpoons, venom, and grasping limbs. At their scale, they are monsters. They ambush prey, they paralyze victims, they consume animals nearly their own size. This is a world of constant motion, constant danger, constant hunger, and it never stops. Zooplankton predate dinosaurs. They survived mass extinctions, ice ages, asteroid impacts. They adapted while giants fell. Some of the forms you're watching nowhere nearly unchanged from hundreds of millions of years ago. They are living fossils, still drifting, still feeding, still holding the planet together. And yet, despite their power, zooplankton are vulnerable. Ocean warming disrupts their migrations. Acidification weakens their shells. Pollution and microplastics enter their bodies, and then every body above them. When zooplankton suffer, the entire ocean feels it. This is not an abstract problem. It is immediate. It is global. It is already happening. Zooplankton do not live randomly. They follow internal clocks, time to sunlight, moon cycles, and even seasons. Some species synchronize reproduction with lunar phases, releasing eggs and sperm simultaneously across miles of ocean. For a brief moment, the sea becomes a living constellation of life. This precision ensures survival in a world where timing is everything. Miss the window by minutes, and an entire generation can vanish. Few people realize this, but zooplankton influence cloud formation. When they feed and digest, they release compounds into the atmosphere, tiny chemical signals that help seed clouds. Those clouds affect rainfall. Those rains affect crops. Those crops feed humanity. From microscopic drifting animals to storms forming in the sky, the connection is unbroken. There are no hiding places in open water, no trees, no rocks, no caves. Zooplankton survive in a three-dimensional battlefield where danger comes from above, below, and every direction in between. Some grow spines longer than their bodies. Some flatten themselves to slip through currents. Others develop erratic swimming patterns, moving unpredictably to avoid capture. This is evolution at its most relentless. Even silence isn't silent. As zooplankton move, feed, and collide, they contribute to the ocean's acoustic signature. Whales and fish can detect these subtle sounds, using them to locate feeding grounds. In a way, zooplankton are whispering direction stow, the largest creatures on Earth. Follow the sound, follow the food, follow life. Many zooplankton begin life near the surface and end it in the abyss. When they die, their bodies fall, a slow, steady snowfall of organic matter. This marine snow feeds creatures that have never seen sunlight. Entire deep-sea ecosystems exist because of drifting animals that lived and died far above. Even the darkest corners of the ocean are connected to the surface by zooplankton. Zooplankton are nature's quality control. They remove excess algae, recycle nutrients, prevent runaway blooms that could suffocate the seas. When their populations collapse, algae can explode uncontrollably, oxygen levels crash, and dead zones spread. Their absence is catastrophic. Their presence is balance. Life as zooplankton is fast. Some live only days, others weeks. A few survive months. Every moment matters. They hatch, ready to feed. They grow rapidly. They reproduce quickly, because the ocean does not wait. Predators are always near. There is no childhood, no pause, only motion. Scientists study zooplankton to predict what comes next for Earth. They respond quickly to temperature changes. They shift ranges as oceans warm. They vanish from places they once dominated. When zooplankton move, the planet is speaking. They are early warnings written in living code. Ignore them, and we ignore the future. Zooplankton are everywhere, and yet almost nowhere in human thought. We celebrate sharks, we revere whales, we protect coral reefs. But the creatures that make all of it possible remain unnamed, unseen, and largely unprotected. The ocean's greatest power has no face. Without zooplankton, diversity collapses. They don't just feed life, they shape what life is allowed to exist. By controlling which phytoplankton dominate, zooplankton influence water clarity, nutrient flow, and habitat structure. Clear waters favor coral reefs. Murky waters favor different ecosystems. In this way, drifting animals decide which oceans sparkle with color and which fade into monotony. They are not passive passengers. They are architects of possibility. Zooplankton carry the chemical fingerprints of their environment. In their bodies are records of temperature, pollution, and change. Scientists read these signals like pages in a diary, a living archive of ocean history. Where they grow smaller, the waters are warming. Where they vanish, ecosystems are unraveling. They remember what the ocean was. They reveal what it is becoming. Right now, as you watch this, zooplankton are rising through the water column, feeding under starlight, shaping currents, balancing chemistry, fueling giants. They are living proof that size is irrelevant, that dominance is not about strength, and that the smallest lives can carry the greatest weight. They do not conquer, they sustain. And as long as they drift, the ocean lives, the planet breathes, and the story of life continues.